All right, welcome back. So let's talk about, let's do a quick reaction to a video here. 10 others dragged by Oyinbo besides TB Joshua. 10 others dragged by the Oyinbo. So, you know, part of the rhetoric is that Oyinbo people, Africa, get yourself together. Why are you doing this to yourself? You allow Oyinbo people to do this to your own people. You're always fighting yourself. Africa, my Africa. When are we going to just rest and face our own? All right. So some people said the Oyinbo BBC is always excited about dragging the black person. And I said, I don't know. You know, because, you know, they felt like TB Joshua was dragged by BBC. The first person that made noise about that was Femi Fani-Kayode, the FFK. He felt that, you know, loyalty. Anyway, me too, I'm loyal, but I'm loyal to my own God, my own head, my own destiny. Okay. All right, so let me see. Where's this video? Okay. All right, so there's a video that was created by a platform called The Glorious Mandate. All right, The Glorious Mandate. So why don't we go through that real quick and then we'll talk. A video by The Glorious Mandate. There you go. Let's go through this together.
When a leader falls, the reverberations can shake the faith of a community to its core. As I reflect on some of the most startling pastor scandals that jarred many of us out of disbelief, let's take a look at the 10 top pastor scandals the American church will never forget, progressing to the most shocking.
This is, welcome babe. This is about the American church now. Okay. So for all of the vulnerable who think it is only the African church that is being dragged, listen, there's more to this story than you realize. There's more to this story than you realize. All right, so y'all gonna learn in very dark man's language. Y'all gonna learn today. Okay, is that how y'all gonna learn the hard way? So Ola, you became a fan, I guess, maybe, if you want to call it that. I'm nobody's fan, really, but if you want to call it that, feel free, okay? But fake Oyinbo pastors, they everywhere too. In fact, they probably do it better than you. Just letting you know, they probably do it better than you. But let's get through this video. This is an interesting video. Shout out to my wife. She was the one watching this one earlier on.
One at the end.
This guy looks like one of us, but his name says it all. Reverend O. Jermaine Simmons Sr. Let's see what he did.
Reverend O. Jermaine Simmons. Reverend O. Jermaine Simmons, a much respected pastor at Jacob Chapel Baptist Church, is found in a compromising position with a married congregant right in her home. It sounds like something out of a dramatic movie, but this was no fiction. It happened on January 17th, 2017.
All right, so I'm going to have to add my own voice because I don't know what kind of copyright protection this person has. But this guy basically was hanging out with this young lady. She's kind of pretty, right? Like, on money. And I saw this something. But that was basically somebody's from his church. He looks like a Yoruba dude. Look at you. Anyway, let's continue. This guy is not Yoruba, he's at least Ghanaian.
Was caught in bed with Claynisha Stevens, 34, by the woman's husband, Benjamin.
Caught in bed by the woman's husband, by the way.
Stevens III. Both Claynisha and Benjamin are his parishioners.
No, this guy looks like a Kofi. Stop the cap. Stop it. It's like a Kofi, not like a Femi. Stop it.
Claynisha, who has been married for 7 years, told police that she first met Simmons in 2014, but they have been establishing a relationship as of October 2016.
Oh.
On January 17th, she said, Simmons came over to the home.
A married woman for 7 years. She was married. Shy.
She shares with her husband and their children so they could talk over starting a business, patents, and trademarks.
They were just trying to talk about business anyway. The husband came in there, found them, and then basically went to the back of the house to go and grab the guy, right? And then before he came, he ran out naked. He ran out of the house completely naked, ran away, didn't wait to find out what it's about. And yeah, it's crazy, right? They were just trying to talk business, that's all. But he's a pastor of a whole church. Let's see what he has to say.
Given him, and his wife stood by him.
His wife stood by him, by the way. He refused to step down from the church.
Hurting because I've hurt you.
Okay, he said, I'm hurting because I've hurt you. Okay, I don't want to nitpick that, but that speaks volumes. Let's continue.
I'm talking to Jacob Chapel. Can't speak for people on the outside because
Nigerian people always think they are the most vulnerable. Well, they think they are the most loyal when it comes to their own pastor. When you talk about TB Joshua, I mean, you're talking about pastor, what's the pastor Chris? Like, I'm loyal. No, you're not the most loyal. You think because you're Nigerian? No, they do it all around the world. You just need, as long as you have a sector of people that are vulnerable enough, they have a very strong need, and then you have another person who knows how to use that need to manipulate their way into their heart, into their head. Boom, that's how it works. Okay, just all you need is a very strong need. You don't have to be poor, just a strong need. It could be any type of need. Okay, and there will be more than enough people that will be willing. People too, that will be. They're man. Your pastor is a man. He's a human being too, right? There's going to be enough people willing to take advantage of that. I didn't say your pastor took advantage of you. I'm just saying potentially, just maybe, just after all, we're supposed to feel needs. But what I prefer is that you feel those needs in sustainable ways over a long period of time, where that person don't have to see you as a god. They can also become a god in their own right. That's what's more sustainable. But some of us want to do it in a way that they continue to need us. Right? Bad idea. Okay, those kind of feeling a need, a gap, the days of those kind of gaps are numbered. Okay, and that's what we're looking at. That's why you're seeing like, if you've paid attention in the last 10 to 20 years, it's getting like the judgment is coming faster and faster and faster.
I'm not Tallahassee's pastor. I'm not Florida's pastor.
It's not Tallahassee, so this was in Tallahassee. It's not Tallahassee pastor, it's not Florida's pastor, it's their pastor. Everybody clap. This man was just caught inside of a man's bedroom, okay, and ran away buck naked. Listen.
And his clothes were inside the house with the woman and her enraged husband. A parishioner gave the pastor a ride from the apartment, and police later helped him retrieve his clothes and car.
A police gave him a ride.
The woman's husband, Benjamin, was slapped with aggravated assault charges. Meanwhile, Simmons found himself facing his congregation. His guilt lay bare. With a heartfelt apology, he asked for forgiveness. An appeal.
He asked for forgiveness.
Pushing us.
Watch this.
Many non-members of the church were shocked, demanding that he should step down. A comment on the video says, I find it sad and shocking that the guilty party is the one who chooses to move forward. Isn't that convenient?
No, but did you be that? Isn't that convenient? Exactly. Because he can, and he did. He moved forward. Well, probably he actually said in his small speech that he said there's some people that will not want to hear him. Listen to this.
No.
Wait, listen to his excuse.
Over this.
If I walk away over this.
We suppose that that I deserved to preach last Sunday when there was no sin.
He's the one doing the explanation of why he shouldn't walk away. He's the one deciding that there's no need for him to walk away. Can you imagine? Okay. 10 others. We're talking about 10 others dragged. This is just the first of 10. Okay.
I was a wretch undone when he called. I'm a work in progress.
Listen, you have to be honest. He is good at what he does. Right? He said, I'm a work in progress. Right? See, that's the beauty about words. That's what I say. If you're a good storyteller, you can literally sell anything. You can sell a person to themselves if you're a good storyteller. Right? Not truth teller. Truth teller are lame. Truth tellers, you know, they get silence regardless. Not because of the truth, it's because they are liars, okay? But if you're a good storyteller, you can literally sell a person to themselves. Like, listen, I got this person, his name is Femi. Your name is Femi, right? His name is Femi. He looks exactly like you. Actually, it might be you. I want to sell it to you. Let me tell you a story. Anyway, he said, I'm a work in progress.
But with the Lord on our side, we will move forward.
Many non-members of the church were shocked.
Listen, I'm not judging him, by the way. I'm just saying he will be judged. Your reputation is a real thing. People will look at the book cover and they will judge the content by the cover. It's the reality of life, okay? So if your behavior, your reputation, if there's been a few allegations against you for quite a few decades, you will be judged as we move further and further into the future in a progressive manner. Yes, they are clapping. Are you whining? Are you whining? Of course they are clapping. Because like I just told you, you can sell a person to themselves if you're a good storyteller. If you have influence, if you understand influence, if you understand power, you can sell a person to themselves.
God's name is shamed. Did God tell you to move forward? If so, I'm impressed at your ability to hear from God after the sin. But you didn't hear from God before the sin.
Hashtag step down for Christ's sake.
Step down for Christ's sake.
Oh man. Shout out to all my Ghanaian brothers. Don't listen to Bhagavad. I don't know what is she talking about. What is Kweku? What is that Bhagavad? Shout out to all my Ghanaians. If you're a work in progress, step down and continue. You have to do the work. You can't jump back on the pulpit. You can't, but I bet he can. But you know, the general society, it probably was this end. It's too much, okay? It's too much of an allegation, not sin. Sin is equal. All sins. If you're a liar, you're a sinner. If you're a cheater, you're equal sinner in the eyes of God, because God is spirit, not a man. It's all equal. But these allegations, in terms of how we organize our society, they're not equal. They're not equal. That's the part that a lot of people are missing. Anyway, we have another person here called Senior Pastor Chris Hill. Let's listen to this one. Let's listen. Number 9, Senior Pastor Chris Hill.
Still about pastors sleeping with their married members, we zoom to Senior Pastor Chris Hill. This is Chris Hill, a spiritual...
let's be honest. Kwekus is not your mate, okay? You know, my guess... Okay, some of the people that love Kwekus the most are pastors. Okay, maybe it's not. Okay, maybe they don't love Kwekus the most, but obviously they attract lots. Okay, let me stop. Ola, stop. Anyway, let's continue. Let's continue.
Son of T.D. Jakes. He is also the senior pastor of the... This is Chris Hill, a spiritual son of T.D. Jakes.
Spiritual son of T.D. Jakes.
He is also the senior pastor of the Potter's House Church of Denver, which is a branch of the Potter's House Church.
Yeah.
In this picture, Pastor Chris Hill poses with his goddaughter and employee.
Let me tell you something. This that you're about to watch, you never experience it. Look at the picture you're looking at very closely on the screen. Okay? You never expected it. Okay, let me see. I need that. I need that sound effect. Where is it? Okay. I found one, but I need to download it and use it. Watch this. Watch this. We're gonna start using
really
this.
Expecting this, but I was not really expecting this, but it just came unknowingly. I've already given up before, but my God in heaven just helped me out. Yeah.
Never expected it.
So when
employee Shernay and her husband Arthur McFarland III on their wedding day, September 26, 2014. Here is Pastor Hill's wife also posing with Shernay on the wedding day. As reported by the Christian Post, in 2017, Joy Hill sent a mass text message to church.
Listen, you never expect what is about to happen. Watch this. This is the guy, by the way. This is the never expected guy.
I saw the video has actually gone viral, not just in Africa.
Did he say viral? He said the video has actually gone viral, not just in Africa,
but the whole world.
How does that feel to qualify for the final?
I feel happy.
I feel happy.
I feel grateful, and I feel
grateful.
I'm happy because I never expected it.
I never expected it. Let's go back to. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, that's
church members alleged Hill's wife also posing with Shernay
that's his wife
on the wedding day. As reported by the Christian Post, in 2017, Joy Hill sent a mass text message to church members.
The wife sent a mass text message to church members. A mass text message to church members. Let's keep going.
Alleging that her husband has been engaged in a months-long affair with a married parishioner who also happens to be their goddaughter, Shernay.
Their actual God, who actually happens to be their goddaughter. You never expect it, right? You didn't see that coming.
He shocked you.
The point of this is not to judge this, folks. I want to remind you that your pastor, your prophet, is a man first before they're a man of God. You need to have a relationship with God yourself, okay? Just listen. The people that are very quick to leave a church because they found out their pastor committed something, those ones are actually the worst. Because those are the ones with the unrealistic expectations, right? Your pastor is a human being. Your prophets, granted, they are being used, obviously, because that's what you claim, right? That's what they claim, that's what you claim. They are human beings. They are spiritual. His own spirit, no, his goddaughter is having an affair. Let's keep listening.
Joy Hill stated that with the help of a private investigator who followed them for weeks, she was able to confirm that they had been having an affair for several months.
You expect it.
Here's a portion of the mass text message sent out by First Lady Hill. For your information, Pastor called the police on me tonight because I yelled at him asking him to leave the house tonight and he wouldn't.
I can't live like this anymore. They've been having an affair for several months, and he finally admitted it yesterday after I hired a private investigator to have them followed over the past 6 weeks. So since he wouldn't leave the house tonight, I threw his clothes in our dry, empty hot tub. I'm done covering for him. Done. I called one of our deacons, Officer Everett Moore, and he came over tonight too. 4 cops in total were at our home. They concluded that no crime was committed. He painted me to be violent and irrational. I am neither. I am a wife who is devastated that her husband is cheating her with her daughter. And to make matters worse, Shernay falsely accused me, I guess that's the woman, of keying her car yesterday. That's the daughter. Accused her of keying her car yesterday, and my husband believes her and told her to press charges against me. My grace for this is over. I want a husband that won't cheat on me or verbally or emotionally abuse me. Shernay is now your new first lady now. I won't be coming to TPHD, that's the Porter House, Denver anymore. Ouch, that must hurt.
Is your new first lady now? I won't be coming to the Porter's House, Denver anymore. Following this revelation of their senior pastor's alleged affair with a married parishioner, the Potter's House Church of Denver announced that Chris Hill, a protege of megachurch preacher Bishop T.D. Jakes, has resigned from his position. Following the outburst of the allegations, Shernay and her husband also separated. But just 3 months.
Well, at least this one resigned because he has a superior, T.D. Jakes. Probably he resigned.
After resigning as senior pastor of the Potter's House Church of Denver over the alleged
he's not ready after 3 months.
Married parishioner, Pastor Chris Hill said he is ready to come back. And Bishop T.D. Jakes of Potter's House of Dallas laid hands on him and declared restoration.
Ouch! Hey, listen, everyone deserves restoration and redemption. Redemption is possible. You remember yesterday I told you once a cheater is always a cheater is a stupid talk. It's not real anyway. Because people do change and people evolve and people become more mature, and so we can't say that. However, what we're talking about is public matters. We're talking about the Christian body, right? We're talking about our reputation. Can I shock you? Let me shock you small, really quickly. Let me shock you.
Let me shock you.
I've been seeing this all my life. Okay? I've been seeing this all my life. Okay? So if it shock you, I'm sorry. All I'm trying to remind you today is that the person that's the shepherd over the flock where you belong is also human. Keep this at the back of your mind. So just in case something happened, you found out that they're a human being, don't be all surprised, okay? Am I justifying this kind of behavior? No, I'm just letting you know they're human beings. Maybe you find something small enough for you to consider it human. I'm just saying they are human beings. If you find something as crazy as the kind of TB Joshua allegations, the only reason why you're fighting so hard with your throat against the idea or possibility of this is because you're thinking they're not human. They are humans just like you, okay? Just keep that at the back of your mind. Let's keep going. That was just number 2, right?
This is a good example of the fact that it is not ideal for pastors to have female office assistants. In the end, these pastors cheat, divorce, get new churches, remarry, and rather than taking responsibility, think they can start over with no responsibility.
All right, so some of you know who Didrik. Didrik was on the TV show, I don't know, it's probably going on 7 to 10 years now. Didrik Harding, I forgot his song now. He has one of my most favorite songs actually. It's a gospel artist, also a pastor. Cheated on his wife, who was also a pastor. All right, and got his girlfriend, who he was dating while he was still married, pregnant. Eventually married the girl. They were actually on a reality TV show together, you know. So that's another one.
Ex-girlfriend surfaced. Gospel singer and pastor Dietrich Haddon faced public scrutiny, but that was not all. He got his current wife, Dominique Haddon, pregnant.
That's his current wife.
Still married to his ex, Demita Haddon. Dominique and Dietrich married months after Dietrich announced his split from his ex-wife of more than 15 years.
Let's see what Dietrich has to say about this. Let's see what Dietrich has to say. Dietrich, not Dietrich. Dietrich, not Dietrich. What? Yeah, okay, I guess he pronounced it that way. Dietrich Haddon, right?
Demita Haddon. The latter years of their marriage were tainted by rumors of infidelity on.
They were married for 15 years. I didn't know Dietrich is that. Is Dietrich that old? He was married for 50 because they've been divorced now for another 15 years or so. It's a while back, right? Dietrich Haddon. Let me see how old he is. Maybe he's in his 50s. You never know. Oh, Dietrich is 50 years old. Oh, okay. So that makes sense now. I was thinking it's more around my age mate or so. All right. So he's 50. Yep. Dietrich is 50. Now, I don't recall a Heather and Cornelius Lindsay on this list. No, I don't. I guess that's another person. So let's call it 11. Right. But let's keep going.
Both ends. But Haddon wants cheated by rumors of infidelity on both ends.
So they said they both cheated.
But Haddon wants everyone to know he's only human.
It's all about truth for me from this point on. The truth about my baby out of wedlock, the truth about my divorce, it happened. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm a pastor, but at the end of the day,
Well, there's a lot you can do about it. You're doing one of it right now. You could just own it. You can own your mistakes. That's a good thing to do about it. That's a good place to start from, but that's something you're doing about it. But the tone of "there's nothing I could do about it" is almost sounding dismissive, like people just shut up. These are the issues. They're very, very subtle issues, right? The tone. Why you have your mouth open like that, bro? You're the one that did now. Just only with your full chest. The tone is off, bro.
I'm a man.
You know, nobody's perfect out there. Everybody make mistakes.
Nobody's perfect. Let us say that. You don't say that. You don't get to say that, bro. We kind of already know that, but it carries a whole new meaning when you say it out loud like that. We already know that. Again, dismissive. But you thought they started like this? No, they've always been these people. In fact, that's probably what attracts you to them, to be your leader, because they are kind of like pompous and arrogant. That's probably part of the things that attracted you. You felt safer with a person that's disrespectful to you. Let's stop the cap, okay? Let's continue.
I've made my mistakes in my life, and no, I don't think there's anybody on the other side of this camera that have not made a mistake. The only difference is us being in the spotlight, and we're preachers, and we hold to a different standard. And sometimes we fall short, just being human. You fall short, but the only thing you can do is just keep moving. You know what I mean, and keep going. You know. Plus, I got tough skin.
He got tough skin. Now, Dietrich, there's one of our stars, gospel stars in Nigeria. We've been talking about him lately. That he looks like Dietrich, and I think they did a single together. Anybody want to guess who we were talking about? Who looks like Dietrich? Oh, you didn't see this come. You never expected this. Anybody remember this guy? Number 7, Ted Haggard. Have you seen Ted Haggard on TV before? This is number 7, Ted Haggard. Ted, I think there were multiple documentaries about Ted. Ted is a homosexual guy who... I'll just let you listen to it, and then we'll talk. Okay. Miracle, no they tire Jesus. This guy, what's his name? Moses Bliss, in my opinion, looks like Dietrich. They look alike. But anyway, let's keep going. I remember him. They already had one baby when they got on the show. Yes, they already got baby, and I think they might have gotten married on the show too, or maybe around that same time. On Preachers of LA. I think it was Preachers of LA or Preachers of Detroit. One of the two. That was one of our favorite shows. We used to like to watch them because I like how that show confirmed that, oh, they're just humans like us, you know. Yeah. They do look alike, right? Exactly. Let's talk about Ted Haggard. Let's see.
You know, plus I got tough skin.
For over a decade, there have been allegations of drug use and inappropriate sexual behavior against Ted Haggard, a pastor of New Life Church in Colorado Springs. Starting in the basement of his house with 22 people, that church eventually became New Life Church, one of the largest mega churches in America. With a congregation of over 14,000, Haggard became so influential that he visited the White House of President George W. Bush multiple times. He also served as president of the National Association of Evangelicals from 2003-2006.
Listen to
We've
this.
decided the Bible is the Word of God. We don't have to have a general assembly about what we believe. It's written in the Bible.
Watch him speak against the alphabet community with his full chest, knowing fully well that he was a participant. He was a full-blown participant. Well, that could happen. Sometimes people are trying to talk themselves out of it, and they will shame people doing it. People do that with sex. People do that with cheating. People do it. They know that they are fighting the spirits behind that thing, and then they will try to shame it because they're trying to rationalize what they feel inside. You know, to a large extent, I told you we all project. Okay. But when you hear people going to the extremes in really casting shame, shaming and castigating, and if you look closer, there's a good chance that they are also a participant. Listen to this.
All right, so we don't have to debate about what we should think about homosexual activity. It's written in the Bible. I think I know what you did last night. If you send me $1,000, I won't tell your wife.
Wow.
If you use any of this, I'll sue you.
Ọlọ́run kú sùúrù.
In 2006, there was a significant shift in the life of Ted Haggard when a gay prostitute came forward claiming that Haggard had paid him for sex.
Jesus.
This revelation ultimately led
Every time I hear that, I'm like, Jesus.
to the decline of Haggard's career, resulting in him losing his position at New Life and having to move to Arizona. There he began a new
That's
job
not all,
selling
by the way.
insurance.
That's not all.
In 2009, Haggard admitted to a second relationship with a male church member on CNN TV. In
A male church member.
2010, Haggard founded a new church called St. James Church. His wife, Gail, who has stood by him throughout his...
Can you believe that?
Not be juju be that.
He started a whole new church with the wife. Well, I mean, they're much older, so maybe she figured I can manage. It's like, let me just, and they have children. They have 2 sons. Eesh. Why did I have to put these children behind them like that? Jesus Christ.
Troubles is the church co-pastor. In an interview from his home in Colorado Springs, he said, "I feel we have moved past the scandal. We have forgiveness. It is a second chance." In 2022, 66-year-old Haggard again faced accusations of using methamphetamine and behaving inappropriately with young men at St. James Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The latest accusations were made by Kirk Sethman, who became a minister at St. James Church in 2012. Sethman recorded the statements of 2 young men who claimed Haggard touched them inappropriately multiple times at the church. One of them was underage when the inappropriate behavior began in 2019. Sethman brought the allegations to church elders in 2020. St. James Church has seen a decline in membership and recently sold its building. Haggard remains the head pastor, but has moved the church's services and study sessions to his home, and now calls his new congregation the Story House Church.
All right, let's get through that.
This is the Cure Microinfusion Facial System, and it's the closest thing that you can get to bringing your...
In North Carolina, renowned Baptist minister Coy Prevet...
All right, so is that this is the second white person? This is the second white person, right? For everybody that say, oh, they only do it to black people, black kids. No, that's true. That's not true. You're wrong. You're wrong, okay? This is happening around the world, but it makes sense to me that you will see more of it in Nigeria because of poverty, okay? This is a means to an end for a lot of people. You're going to see more of it, obviously, in Africa, okay? But this is a human behavior. It is not the fight against it or the support for it is not, okay? But before I go, let me show you a bonus, okay? I'm going to show you a quick bonus before I go on to the next white person here. Check this one out. Check this one out. This guy, his name is Victor Adenegon, allegedly did the same thing to a young underage 17-year-old boy that lived with him. He's an actual prophet in a church. I forgot the name of the church. In a church in Ibadan. This boy next to him was also violated by him. He had him masturbating for him. No, not masturbating himself, masturbating him. The prophet had this young man in red helping him. He was basically masturbating his own dick. Okay, and that's as far as he could go with him. He told him to get naked. Okay, he wanted to touch him, but this one kind of kept insisting. But because he needed money, remember I told you poverty is a big part of all of this, right? People vulnerable, right? He needed money to live, to take care of himself and stuff like that, and he felt the need just so he can help him. And he took advantage of a few other people like that, including a young 16-17-year-old boy. Allegedly.
Because gbogbo gba yen na àwọn torí ó ní church kan tí mo lọ táwọn yẹn ti pè mí pé bobo again.
He said he went to a church and people were calling him that this young man in red that he must be gay.
kì í ṣe wọ o mi ò sọ pé wọ o.
Okay, some other guy who is also part of his circle, that they were all involved in all of this.
Adára ní ìjọ yẹn pé gay ni even ìgbà.
His name, this other guy called Adara Nijo, that guy is gay. That's the guy that brought this boy to him to help him.
Àti mo lọ church kan ní Ìjẹ̀bú wọ́n ṣá sọ mo wá pè yẹn.
He said he went to a church in Ìjẹ̀bú and they said he now called that one.
Mo á ní wá nǹkan báyìí tán sọ.
This is what I heard. I heard this and that and this and that and that.
Ṣé lóòótọ́ ni?
He said, is it true?
Wá ní à pé kí ni mo ní àwọn èèyàn tí ń pè mí o.
He said people have been calling him.
Ó máa ń bá àwọn ọkùnrin.
That you sleep with men.
Pé wàá máa close mọ́ wọn. Ló wá ní à pé lóòótọ́ ni.
He said it's true.
Báwo ló ṣe máa easy? Báwo ló ṣe máa rọ?
He said, how is it easy? The next question your prophet will ask you, like, how is it easy? How do you make that happen? He's interested.
Láti ṣerú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
How is it easy to do something like that?
Gbogbo ìgbà tọ́mọ yìí ti fi wà lọ́dọ̀ mi. Òun ló ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn àti ẹ̀nà jọ ń lọ, wọ́n jọ ń bọ̀.
Anyway, I wanted to make that a short interlude. That's a story at Oriyomi Amzat platform. If you want to go, if you understand Yoruba, you can go watch it over there. But the things are happening. Things are happening. Let's get back to this story right here. Let's get back to the Y, letter Y and T. They are also corporates. All right. So it's not, and for those that say it's only our TB Joshua they are dragging, you're a liar. You haven't been paying attention. You're being blind. You're lying to yourself. You know. But I get it. You're hoping to God that this is not the truth. Well, it is the truth that your pastors are also humans. I'm not saying they've committed these things, but just remember that they are humans like the rest of us. And yes, they are capable of your worst nightmare. Let's continue.
Faced charges in 2007.
This guy is Coy Prevet.
And abetting prostitution. Coy Prevet faced charges in 2007 for aiding and abetting prostitution. Coy Prevet was charged with 6 counts of aiding and abetting prostitution by the State Bureau of Investigation and the Canopolis Police Department in 2007. At the time, Prevet was 74 years old.
He was 74 years old.
As the Cabarrus County Commissioner and a former NC State
in North Carolina, basically.
Many were shocked that a respected minister with such a long-standing career would be involved in something so morally reprehensible. The investigation uncovered that Prevet had been paying prostitutes for sexual services since the early 1990s.
Since the 90s, has been doing it for a long time. That's Coy Prevet. Look at this. Check this out.
He used his position of power and influence.
Check this out. That is a male prostitute who's trying to dress like a woman. I'm not sure. Somebody thinks it's a woman, but anyway, God help us.
To coerce vulnerable women into prostitution and then paid them with church funds. Despite the
What else would he pay them with? He's 74. He's been a clergyman for a long time. What else do you expect him to pay them with?
Overwhelming evidence against him, Prevet maintained his innocence and refused to resign from his political positions. He even continued to preach at his church, claiming that he was being targeted by the media.
Does this sound familiar? He claimed he was being targeted by the media. Anytime you hear things of God, they just want to target all of these humans who have the capability of committing atrocities like this too. Does this sound familiar? Expectations. We're talking about unrealistic expectations. You're expecting human beings to be God. Man, no be God. Man can never be God. Yeah. Because the idea of God is perfect, blameless, right? And, you know, maybe your Bible also set you up for that kind of unrealistic expectations. But it's about setting standards, right? Because these behaviors are dangerous, especially where they are committed in secret, right? In secrecy. Let's continue.
And law enforcement, due to his conservative
Let me make it a little faster now.
Later that year, Prevet eventually pleaded guilty to 6 counts of aiding and abetting.
He pleaded guilty, 6 counts. Why?
1 year
they had evidence
of probation and 100 hours of community service, as well as a $1,000 fine. He was also required to seek counseling and attend a moral behavior course. The following year, Joe Barron, a pastor at Preston,
another one,
Texas,
Joe
was
Barron,
arrested for allegedly soliciting a minor.
Another
Joe Barron
one
served as a marriage counseling pastor and was one of the 40 ministers at Prestonwood Baptist Church in Plano, Texas. In 2008, Barron faced legal consequences for solicitation of a minor. It was discovered that he had driven from Dallas to Bryan, Texas, under the impression that he was meeting a 13-year-old girl, unaware.
A 13-year-old girl. A 13-year-old girl. Shengbo, are you hearing? Things are happening. Please don't get it twisted. Please. You're talking about human beings here at the end of the day. Let's borrow ourselves some brain. Your pastor is human. They deserve. By the way, what I'm saying is a double-edged sword. That means they also deserve grace. Don't you hold them to these unnatural standards, right? It is no wonder why, you know. So to the point that they have to get caught like this, and you are still in denial, right? I didn't say TB Joshua is caught like this because it's passed on, right? So we're respecting the dead, but we're saying in general, right? This your expectation is about you. It's not about TB Joshua. It's about you. You have unrealistic expectations. This is what you have when you decide to say things like, why are you judging? No, that's not what you meant. You're disappointed. You're disappointed because disappointment only comes from one source, from unrealistic expectations. That's what you're dealing with here right now. That's the reality of what you're dealing with. Stop the cap. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We got some more. Some more.
That it was an undercover law enforcement official. Condoms, a webcam, and a headset were found in Barron's car at the time of his arrest.
Another one. Tony Alamo.
FBI agents raided the Tony Alamo Christian Ministries headquarters
Tony
in September 2008
Alamo.
in connection with their...
Another Oyinbo. How many Oyinbo so far? How many Oyinbo? Majority of them have been Oyinbo people so far. You notice? Right? You notice majority of them have been Oyinbo people. The first three people we covered, they are black people. Jermaine Simmons, Chris Hill, Dietrich Harding. But ever since Ted Haggard, we have Ted Haggard, we have Coy Privet, we have Joe Barron, and now we have the fourth Oyinbo person. Listen.
Their investigation into child pornography. This action was taken
child pornography
after the mayor of Fuke, Arkansas, received complaints from former members of the ministry regarding allegations of child abuse, sexual abuse, and polygamy.
Crazy.
Tony Alamo, leader of the Tony Alamo Christian Ministries, was convicted in 2009 on multiple counts of transporting young girls and boys across state lines for sexual activities and pornography.
Wow.
He was subsequently sentenced to 175 years in prison on November 13th.
175 years in prison. For those of you that said Faye Daniels, that was too harsh. It depends on other circumstances around it. If they feel like they're dangerous to children, because they mentioned a 19-year-old in that Faye Daniel stuff. I don't know what they have. They also were hiding some names, but it was basically the state against him. That's why he didn't know who was suing him at first. Yes, you might just gather life imprisonment. 175 years, right? There you go. Tony Alamo. I wonder if he's still alive.
2009. George Allen Reckers, a far-right Christian leader known for his anti-homosexual beliefs, was caught with a male escort at Miami.
That's another one. People that have loudly spoken against this behavior, right? They tend to be the most judgmental too. This one, Tony Alamo, I think passed away in 2017. He says on the records here. I don't know if it's the same guy. I think it's him. All right, the point here is that your pastors are humans. That's the reason why you need the fruit of the Spirit. You need to be observant of fruit of the Spirit. You can't just because they healed your leg say that is it. You don't care. Terrible. Okay, you're ignorant if you say things like that. Okay, let's keep going.
International Airport in 2010. George Allen Reckers was photographed at Miami International Airport, returning from an international trip with a 20-year-old gay male prostitute known as Rent Boy. Given Reckers' strong anti-gay stance, his decision to hire a homosexual escort as a travel companion caused a scandal. Initially, Reckers claimed the escort was there to help with luggage, but later...
Of course, he lied at first. George Allen Records. He lied at first. He said it was there to help
Stated on
luggage.
Facebook that he spent time with sinners to help them. Yes.
Oh, and then he came back. He spent time with sinners to help them. Does that sound similar? It sounded awfully too similar. Why? Because human beings have patterns. I keep telling you. You just have to pay attention. Okay.
Court later claimed in interviews that Reekers had paid him for daily nude massages, including genital touching.
Daily nude massages. That's what that young man was giving that man, Victor Adenego in Ibadan. Daily nude massages. Right? That is wild.
The incident raised questions about the hypocrisy of public figures.
All right, so finally we have another black person, right? So Tony Alamo was the fourth, George Records is the fifth, but finally we have another black person. You guys remember this guy, Bishop Eddie Long, right? Who eventually he was sued. I think it was a civil lawsuit, and I think he settled. He denied, but he settled. Shout out to Didi. Let's continue.
Bishop Eddie Long faced accusations of inappropriate sexual relationships with young men. Despite these serious allegations,
even the stand in the post, Jesus Christ, I don't know. There's something that I don't have any empirical data, but that stand in that post you just looked at in the bathroom, Jesus Christ, who does that? Back then too, men take selfies now, mirror in the bathroom. Men do that now, but back then, that's kind of weird, huh?
Long held onto his leadership position in the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. 4 young men have accused him of sexual exploitation, but he remains defiant, refusing to vacate his esteemed position.
He has since passed on. Since then, I think he died some mysterious deaths too. Jesus Christ.
Spencer LeGrand speaks up about a trip to Kenya in 2005 with chilling details of coercion into sexual acts.
A trip to Kenya.
Bishop Eddie Long maintained his innocence against the allegations, but settled out of court, leaving the community divided and sparking broader discussions about power dynamics.
You notice what that person just said? They leave the community divided. Does that sound familiar? Right? Yes, they have a tendency to leave the community divided. Eddie Long, I think Eddie Long passed on maybe back in 2015 or so. That's a while back. 2017. Wow. Yeah.
Spiritual mentorship in religious settings.
Do you love boating?
All right. So how many do we have so far? We have, okay, we got one last one. Let's go. Earl Pollock.
The late Earl Polk, who founded the Chapel Hill
Polk,
Harvester
not Pollock.
Church in Decatur, Georgia.
Some guy, some older Earl Pollock from Georgia. Earl Pollock. Now this would be what, the fifth white man? No, sixth. 4, 5, 6. So we had at least 6 Oyinbo people here. All right, let's listen.
Was embroiled in multiple scandals involving sexual relations with women from his congregation. These scandals spanned several years.
Sexting?
Numerous women from his congregation came forward claiming to have had sexual relations with him, and many of these claims were found to be true. The most shocking scandal involved his nephew, Donnie Earl Polk.
His nephew. Listen to this carefully. This most shocking one involved, according to this report, allegedly his nephew. Wait till, not yet till. You never expected what's about to happen though. Wait till. You're not gonna expect what you're about to hear.
And I feel fulfilled. I'm happy because I never expected it.
Wait, you never expect what's about to happen. They said nephew, right? Wait for it. This is gonna sound hopefully similar to recent stories that we've been covering here. Let's go.
Who was revealed through DNA testing to be Earl's son, not his nephew. This confirmed that Earl had a sexual relationship with his sister-in-law. Earl Polk is known to have been a long-time mentor.
Wait, let's rewind.
Congregation. These scandals spanned several years. Numerous women from his congregation came forward claiming to have had sexual relations with him, and many of these claims were found to be true. The most shocking scandal involved his nephew, Donnie Earl Polk, who was revealed through DNA testing to be Earl.
Through DNA testing, they found out that he was, in fact, not the nephew. This young man was, in fact, his son.
He shock you.
There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. No, your pastor wasn't the first. Your prophet wasn't the first. Okay. This is why we keep telling you. You act like it's the first. They want to tackle the church. It's the end times. This has been happening even since the Bible days. Okay.
His son, not his nephew. This confirmed that Earl had a sexual relationship with his sister-in-law. Earl Polk is known to have been a long-time mentor of Bishop Eddie Long. These incidents have not only...
Oh, it's a long-time mentor of Bishop Eddie Long. You now see why we can't just say they've passed on, it should be the end of it. No, they've mentored, they're influential, they've mentored a host of other people. Sometimes they call them disciples, sometimes they call them wise men, right? What do you think they trained them? Yeah, the idea that we're just gonna forget this, no, we're gonna respect the dead, but they have a legacy that's left behind. They have a monstrous behemoth of an organization, right? And just to make sure that they are clean, don't you think they should be investigated? Don't you think so? Just to make sure, right? Or at least they should be looked at, just make sure, you know, that nothing funny is going on, so they can keep carrying on the good deeds of their mentor. If you claim that those are good deeds, that's all we're saying, right? All these people, all of them, this is real. This is real. All right. So they all start in a certain type of way. There's also patterns in how they tend to start. There's also patterns you can pay attention to. Bagaba says, at least that's not as bad as what I was thinking. Yeah, it's all bad. I know what you mean, though. It's all bad. You know, we're talking about the body of Christ now, right? These people are the attack against the body of Christ. No one is attacking the body of Christ. They are the attack against the body of Christ. That's what it looks like. All of these examples I've just given, many of them are convicted, many of them have passed on, right? But we're sharing this not to judge them. We can't judge them. But this is real. This is, there are victims involved. There are actual victims involved in this situation. So we can't just say the ones that passed on. No, we have to talk about it so that we can make sure that people understand that social media is paying attention. If your closet is not clean, clean it. By the way, it might be too late already. I'm just saying, you're going to see more and more of this, right? Now, what does Yule has to do with all of this, right? We just talked about the 10, right? I'll be back. Let's talk a little bit more about Yule Adochie here, okay? Because again, what we're talking about here is reputation, right? Reputation matters. Not because I make it matter, it just matters. I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.